Something is happening with the iPhone this year that nobody is really talking about. Not the camera, not the chip, not the color. It's the pattern, the way Apple is making decisions. Because once you see it, it doesn't look like upgrades anymore. It looks like a strategy. Every September, Apple does the same thing. New phone, new chip, new camera, and repeat again. But this year, something is different. And I started noticing it when the first leak came in. It was a small thing, a measurement, a few millimeters thicker on the camera bump. That's when I started pulling on the thread. And the more I pulled, the less it looked like a normal iPhone year. First reveal, the camera. So here's the first thing. The camera bump on the iPhone 18 Pro is getting bigger, physically thicker, not by a tiny margin either, about 0.65 millimeters more than the 17 Pro, and the individual camera bumps themselves are growing too. Now on the surface, that sounds boring. More millimeters. Who cares? Except this is Apple, a company that once spent a year trying to make a phone 0.5 millimeters thinner. Apple doesn't make things bigger unless they have a very specific reason. And the reason here is something that has never been on an iPhone before. Variable aperture. Here's what that means. Right now, your iPhone camera has one fixed opening for light. It can't change. But a DSLR, a cinema camera, they can open wider in darkness, close tighter in bright light. You're literally controlling how much of the world you let in. Apple is about to put that on a phone for the first time, and the only way to physically do it is to make the camera bigger. That's not a design flaw, that's a statement. And then we got the dummy model of the iPhone Ultra, Apple's first ever folding iPhone. And the first thing I noticed? That camera bump. It's massive, even thicker than the Air. So at minimum, the Ultra gets the same camera system as the Pro, maybe better. Apple is clearly not cutting corners here. But then I looked closer at the Ultra, and I found three things Apple is not giving you. No MagSafe, no telephoto camera, no action button. Now, that last one is strange, but maybe they folded into the camera control button somehow. But the telephoto, that's a real sacrifice. And I think Apple knows exactly what they're doing. There will be people who desperately want the Ultra, but cannot give up that zoom. So they'll buy the 18 Pro Max instead. That's not an accident, that's a calculated gap. And here's where the strategy really starts to show itself. This September, Apple is only releasing 3 iPhones, the 18 Pro, the 18 Pro Max, and the Ultra. All expensive, no base model, no Air 2, no budget option. Those are coming in spring 2027. Apple has never split their iPhone launch like this before, and the official reason is supply chain management, balancing chip production throughout the year, which is probably true. But think about what this also does. If you want the latest iPhone in September, you're buying premium. There is no other choice. Apple's average selling price for that fall launch goes up dramatically, just by deciding what ships when. And the iPhone Air 2 getting delayed isn't just logistics. It's getting delayed because Apple wants to add dual cameras, because people complained. The current Air, one camera, one speaker. The internet roasted it. Apple listened. Or maybe Apple planned for people to complain. Release something intentionally incomplete. Let the reaction build demand, then fix it a year later and sell it as a massive upgrade. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying it's very convenient. Okay, so while all of this is happening under the surface, the dynamic island is shrinking. That black pill at the top of your iPhone, getting about 25% smaller. Not huge news on its own, but it makes the screen feel more open, more uninterrupted, and that matters when you're trying to justify spending $1,200 on what looks like the same phone from last year. The colors this year are silver, which they always bring back, a dark gray that honestly reads almost jet black, a light blue that looks like the sky on a clear morning, and then the one that's turning heads, dark cherry, deep wine red, the kind of color that makes you hold the phone differently. And the back glass is changing too, a subtle frosted finish, less mirror, more matte, the kind of change you'd never notice from a photo but you'd feel the second you hold it in your hand. Under the hood, the A20 Pro chip is built on 2nm technology. That's a generational leap. Faster, cooler, more efficient. Combined with a new C2 modem, Apple's own, built in-house, and a new wireless chip for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, the 18 Pro is going to feel like a different category of device, not just a faster phone, a fundamentally more connected one. And the display? New LTPO Plus panel, smarter refresh rate management, longer battery life without you doing anything. The kind of upgrade that never makes a headline but you feel at the end of the day when your phone still has 40% battery left. So here's where I keep landing. everything. The camera, the folding phone, the split launch, the Air 2 delay, all of it, individually, makes sense. But when you line it all up, Apple isn't just making phones anymore. They're engineering the market around the phones, deciding who buys what, when, and at what price. And the question I can't stop thinking about is this: when you look at all of this together, is Apple still designing for the customer, or are they designing the customer? Leave your answer below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching.